Turning the key in the keyhole, Marina opened the door and called loudly. "I'm home." Having heard nothing in response, he frowned. Lyosha should have been at home for a long time. He comes home from work much earlier. There are unwashed dishes in the sink in the kitchen, a mess in the bedroom, all the cabinets, things from the chests of drawers are rummaged and turned out. Robbers? And then Marina saw a note on the table in the hall. "Baby, I'm sorry, I'll be back and I'll definitely explain everything, but for now, just know that it was necessary." And a signature. The one whom in the morning she considered her future husband. An instant flash of thought made her rise sharply from the chair where she managed to sit down. Indeed, there was no diplomat in the pantry. This means that everything was set up from the very beginning. Memories flooded like a ninth shaft. Then it seemed to her that their meeting was an accident, just an unfamiliar guy was nearby at the moment when the thief in the supermarket snatched her bag. A tall guy, with one hand grabbed a teenager by the scruff of the neck. He managed to slip out, but the bag was saved. There wasn't anything particularly valuable there, but I really didn't want to lose the phone, except for the model itself. A lot of contacts and numbers that were stored in memory were also important. Once again, Marina thought that modern people are hostages of gadgets and promised herself to rewrite important numbers in a notebook. But at that moment, gratitude for the saved things knew no bounds, and she immediately agreed to the offer to drink a cup of coffee nearby. Alexei turned out to be courteous. Along with coffee on the table were salads and savory pastries. She did not even notice that she let slip about the fact that she was coming home from work. "I think that after a hard day just coffee would be inappropriate. Are you sure you're hungry?" And got to the point. And then they quickly switched to you, being almost the same age. Word for word. Marina did not notice how time flew by. The interlocutor turned out to be interesting. There were many common topics. She was already waiting for the proposal to meet again tomorrow. She didn't want to admit to herself that she liked the unexpected savior, and then it started spinning. They began to meet every day, and Marina could no longer imagine how she lived without Lyosha before. He became a part of her life. The guy did not hide that he was divorced. The reason was banal: the wife wanted a luxurious life and money. And he was the most ordinary employee. Yes, a promotion was expected, but it was only necessary to wait for it, because the dearest wife simply changed it to someone who could provide for her right now. Fortunately, they did not have time to have children. So Alex was left without a family. He left the apartment, so he now lived on a rented one, and after a couple of weeks, Marina herself invited the guy to move in with her. Why pay rent? His income is not that big to throw money away. He, of course, agreed. Until today, Marina has never regretted it. She did not think that life together could be so pleasant. In the mornings, freshly brewed coffee and her favorite omelette were waiting for her. Alexei left earlier, but he always managed to cook breakfast for her, and when she returned from work, dinner was also ready. They walked together and watched old movies, planned the future, and dreamed of the sea, until today. When suddenly everything fell into place. He thought of everything in advance, down to the smallest detail. Surely even that very first meeting was set up, planned out. All for the sake of the old shabby diplomat, or rather the fact that he was inside. Marina remembered how he appeared in her apartment. 2 years ago, the bell rang, and her past appeared on the threshold. So unpleasant that she wanted to just slam the door on him, but she was sure that this would not help. The past has been pushy, will call and wait until they start peeking out the neighbors. Then she would have to apologize for his behavior. The past was called Anton. It was her first love. Crazy, without looking back, and rules from the first to the last year of the institute. Nights until dawn, an oath to be always together, huge bouquets, first kisses, and then Anton left her. He simply said that it was necessary, that a good and serious start was simply necessary for his future career. And Natasha, the daughter of a well-known manufacturer, father-in-law, will provide him with a position that no one can offer. So it is necessary. Then this phrase was spinning in my head, like a record stuck on one note. Marina could not understand such a prudent betrayal. She was not just betrayed, she was sold. For a position and a brilliant career. For a long time she dropped out of life. Fortunately, the institute ended, and the girl plunged headlong into work. I filled empty days to the limit, loaded myself to the last, and at night it sounded in my head again. So it is necessary. And now, when it seemed she managed to finally cope, he appeared, stood on the threshold of his apartment and smiled as if nothing had happened. A huge bouquet of roses almost covered the broad shoulders. What appeared? And hello to you. I knew, of course, that there would not be much joy, but I did not think that you were still angry. I am not angry. Why would it, just because you traded me for a rich and well-fed life, trampled on everything that was dear to me? No, of course, I'm not angry. Let's get out. Why did you come? Anton, as if he had not heard, moved her and went inside, handed the bouquet and sat down in the room. I'm just passing through here, not for long, so I thought I'd take a look, see how you are. But I see I'm not happy at all. Marina guessed that it was unlikely that the past just looked in to find out how she was coping without him. She knew him too well, so she clarified harshly. Come on, seriously, what do you want? Leave your pink snot for Natasha. I heard you got married. Marina, what are you really? You are an adult, you understand everything yourself, but you could not do it differently without that position, and you would have vegetated in the factory as a small worker. Life is a cruel thing, sometimes you have to step on your dreams on the throat. But he confessed everything, put a tick, get out, now. Anton quickly got up. From the looks of it, he didn't expect such a cold reception. Listen, but I see you haven't forgiven me at all. Okay, I won't bother with one request. I'm passing through here. Well, for a couple of days I'll have to wander all over the region on company business, and I'm reluctant to leave important documents with me at the hotel. Be a friend, hold me for a couple of days, I'll finish the job and take it. Marina smirked. Well, this was where I had to start, otherwise I got it wrong. I came to visit, to find out how you are here. I tell you that the luggage room is free. Well, Marinka is only for a couple of days. Well, help me out, please. Then she agreed only in order for him to leave as soon as possible. I got excited only a month later, when I was doing the cleaning and stumbled upon diplomats of old skin. I completely forgot about him and immediately realized that she and Anton had not even exchanged phone numbers. Apart from the fact that he lived in the capital, Marina knew nothing about him. The diplomat turned out to be a secret. Although the locks were old and reliable, they were kept, but it was not possible to open it. With a wave of her hand, the girl simply pushed him away on the mezzanine of the pantry. Well, it will be necessary, he will come and pick him up. But Anton did not come, not in a month, not in two. About a year passed when, before spring, Marina again remembered about those left behind. Diplomat. Thought visited. After all, if there are documents, then there must be seals, a legal address. She will open it only to find where to take other people's papers. I had to tinker, not immediately, but the lock succumbed, ordinary hairpins helped. Marinka saw this only in the movies, but the method worked. A quiet click announced that everything secret sooner or later becomes clear. Impatiently lifted the lid and gasped. Tight packs were stacked in dense rows of dollars, euros, in different denominations, girded with a bank ribbon filled the entire space inside. There was a fortune there. Startled, Marina sank into a chair. Where did he get them and why did she leave such money for safekeeping? A call from an old friend did not help much, but Anton's address was found. Taking a couple of days off, Marina went to the capital. She didn't take the diplomat, she decided to find the one who set her up like that. But there, too, failure awaited her. Other people have lived at the old address for a long time. Anton and his wife are divorced, they sold the apartment in order to make an exchange. It took another week to get to the bottom of the truth. She turned out to be sad. It seems that after the divorce, Anton got in touch with bad people and got into debt. The parents died, the ex-wife went abroad, an institute friend told about all this, and he knew little. Anton was either shot or poisoned, there is only one fact, he is no more. Was Marina sad? Of course, this is part of her past life, difficult, but still, and now she was left with what was left of her, and the rest was dangerous. It was necessary to decide what to do with him, and Marina decided, let everything go as before, she would not take a penny from that money. She will hide the diplomat away and will live on, if the owner of the state finds her, she will give everything away. They only hoped that she would not repeat Anton's fate. As the days passed, the girl gradually calmed down, if she has not been found yet, then maybe no one knows that she has money. If Anton had told about her, then they would not have dragged on for so long. Marina tried not to think about the diplomat, pushing her to the very top of the pantry for cans and boxes. After the appearance of Lyosha, she did not dare to tell about the state that she had in storage, and while she was choosing the right moment, everything was decided by itself. It became clear that everything was planned in advance, but how did Alexei find out about the money, or maybe he was connected with their owners? Without really understanding anything, Marina went crazy. She saw shadows and shadows on every corner. Alexei got in touch only a month later, he arrived after another 2. The story was like a detective story. But the heroine was herself. He never lied to her about his feelings. At first, Marina really was the object of attention only because of the suspicion that she had a diplomat, but then he fell head over heels in love with her. It just so happened that Antoine really got into trouble, taking away a diplomat with a round sum, but no one killed him with excitement, his heart gave out, and he simply died of a heart attack. The mystery of the stolen money remained for a long time because of 7 locks, but the investigation did not stop. Wrong people lost money, so they came to her. People turned out to be quite adequate, so they realized that the girl had nothing to do with it. The plan worked, and Lyosha ended up at her house. It took more time to figure out where the money was hidden. Customers were in a hurry, and he himself was on their hook. They promised to forget about the debt if they find the missing fortune. He then agreed. He really was forgiven the debt, it took a little more time to close all the ends. But now he is completely free from obligations and is ready to return to it. Marina listened to an enthusiastic speech and thought about her own. Where did she manage to mess up so much that fate sends her one test after another? It seems that he lives by the rules, and here on you, this one repeats the scenario of the past, she should just forgive him and forget everything. Alexei was sincere, apologized for being silent, justified himself. If she told him, everything would be much easier. But now he is completely free and asks Marina to marry him. Maybe someday she will be able to forgive him. Maybe, but not today, not now. Marina understood that she needed time, she got too many worries and disappointments. Wearily, waving her hand towards the front door, she said quietly, "I'll call you myself, maybe when I'm ready, but now leave." I watched from the window how Alexei got into the car and thought how complicated life is. Now, when I seem to be no longer interfering with anything, she is not ready to forgive him, and really hoped that she could at all.